Do you want to meet Corey Feldman and Jameson Newlander, the real Frog Brothers? Join us, the Frog Brothers Podcast, August 20th and 21st in San Antonio, Texas for the Summer of Santa Carla presented by Kings of Horror. Help celebrate the 35th anniversary of one of our favorite films, The Lost Boys. With screenings, autographs, artists, vendors, oddities, readings, comics, food, and more. Plus your favorite podcast hosts, Alec, Justin, and Nick. Go to socialrevoltstore.com for tickets and be sure to follow Kings of Horror on Instagram for updates. Looking to win tickets? Listen to the Frog Brothers Podcast from now until the event and be sure to follow us on all of our social media accounts for more chances to win. At Frog Bros Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. We'll see you in Texas.
Yeehaw!
Hi, I'm Jameson Newlander, Alan Frog from The Lost Boys, and you're watching the Frog Brothers Podcast.
What's will be doing running from a spooky ghost?
It's refreshment time, folks.
Are either one of these any good?
Do you like scary movies?
I don't watch movies.
I have to return some videotapes.
You have a TV? No. I just like to read the TV guide. Read the TV guide. Don't need a TV.
Books, records, films, these things matter. Call me Shell. It's the fucking truth.
Over 1,600 titles, each for rent at just $2 the first night, and only Finish him.
I don't watch TV.
Yeah, but you are aware that there's an invention called television, and on this invention they show shows, right?
Watch a few movies, take a few notes.
Okay, channels 18, 24, 63, 109, 87, and the Weather Channel.
Welcome to the Frog Brothers Podcast with your hosts, Justin and Alec.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Frog Bros Podcast. My name is Justin.
I'm Alec!
Oh my god.
I didn't mean for it to sound so screechingly like a pterodactyl.
I was going to say, you sound like a dinosaur-man hybrid.
You got to watch this. If you're not watching on our YouTube, you got to see that. I just did the pterodactyl scream and the wing flap.
I think we're in sync now, right?
Yeah, pretty much. No, we're the Backstreet Boys, not in sync. We're actually 98 degrees.
And I'm Nick.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're a little more underground.
And this is episode 116.
116. Nick's the numbers guy over here. He knows the numbers.
Mm-hmm. What's 69 times 420 plus 666?
7,438.
I don't know. It might be.
That'd be fucking awesome if that was. He's just like fucking Rain Man over here.
Definitely 7,000.
Definitely know the math.
Definitely 7,000.
So, holy shit, what a week.
I wish I was like Rain Man. I would be fucking robbing casinos, basically.
So we just wrapped up an awesome bonus episode with Tim Lottie from Team Lottie on social media, so be sure to check that out. He's doing some Ninja Turtles work for IDW. Pretty fucking stoked on that. It's going to be super awesome.
Comic books.
Comic book series.
Mm-hmm.
Looking pretty awesome. We've got some awesome plans in works. Awesome. We had a nice little meeting around the show about what we're going to be doing at the Summer of Santa Carla, what we're going to have at our booth.
Which will be awesome.
Fuck yeah, it's going to be amazing.
You guys should definitely come out there. And if there's any Texas fans specifically, I know it's a lot harder for other people, but hit us up on our social medias. We might be able to get you tickets, maybe.
Yeah, if you're in the Republic of Texas and you're looking to attend this thing, reach out, hit us up. Let us know.
They have announced Jason Patrick, which they had announced last week, but they also now have announced Billy Wirth, who was one of the vampires, and G. Tom Mack or Gerard McMahon for soundtrack owners.
Yeah. He changed his artistic name, but he's done the fucking song you know, you love, you sing.
Lost in the Shadows?
Yes.
By Lou Gramm?
Exactly.
That's him?
That's him. Oh. Same guy.
Interesting.
He also did the Tim Capella song.
Oh, nice.
I Still Believe. Do you still believe?
I do, but so that's pretty cool. There's obviously the original Frog Brothers and Jason Patrick as well.
Then you'll get
and
us.
That might not be it. There might be more announcements to be made. You never know.
Pretty excited about it. This is going to be an awesome show celebrating some vampire movies. Kind of want to get into a big vampire kick this summer leading up to this, so expect some more of that, especially maybe on the Patreon. Probably have some more commentaries on some vampire flicks for you. So
yeah,
if you're not
we haven't released it yet, but when this comes out, it'll probably be out. But just reviewed Interview with a Vampire last week. That should be coming out
That's a solid
shortly.
fucking flick, yeah.
Yeah.
Be sure to look for that episode if you haven't already seen it.
Yeah, it's solid.
We're already talking about that. Like, hopefully they listen to that before they listen to this one.
Probably.
So if you've done that, you've done your homework, and I'm proud of you, and I appreciate you. I just want you to know that.
As of we recording this, the Beavis and Butthead Do America last week was released today, actually. Technically last night, but we're a little bit behind on schedule. I've got a couple on the back order that I'm still trying to push out. So
he's in episode labor, so you might get some twins or triplets or quadruplets here soon.
Yeah, pretty much.
Never know.
I might just be dropping episodes like
he's crowning for his episodes.
Basically.
So. Is that our segue into the...
Could be. Do we have any other news we want to get to first? Because I think
that was a nice segue.
Here.
We got to do it now.
Well, there's two intro. I'm going to play both of these intro themes just because I like them so much.
At the same time?
No,
one at a time.
But we are gonna. It's a combination of two segments we have. So we're just gonna play those for you now.
I mean, are all your friends Satanists?
A young Frenchman photographed this flying saucer, or is it? From a...
Do you believe in UFOs, astral projections, mental telepathy, ESP, clairvoyance, spirit photography?
We're discussing Satanism and the occult this morning and some of the dangers.
Telekinetic movement, full trance mediums, the Loch Ness Monster, and the theory of Atlantis.
For the purposes of this study, we will focus on the number 666.
Tonight on 6 Ed World.
And...
Everything's pissing me off today. Listen to what I have got to say. Everything's pissing me off today. Listen to this.
Is it down?
Lash out irrationally.
Lash out
rationally. No.
Jazz hands.
You're gonna find out real quick that we're not celebrating the 4th of July this year.
No, we're like Tom Cruise on Born on the 4th of July this year. We're like fucking angry. We're upset. We're fucking...
If we didn't like explosions, would we really celebrate it ever?
Not to mention that everyone that fucking celebrates the 4th of July and tries to pretend to be their fucking patriotic in a normal year, you're blowing up imported Chinese fireworks. So anyone that says they don't like communism or anything like that, you are supporting the Chinese government's #1 export, which is fireworks. So fuck off with that shit.
Anyone who also is complaining about the heat and then setting off fireworks, therefore destroying the environment and setting off climate change more, can also fuck off.
Climate change.
I just like pointing out the irony of like...
Well, it has multiple reasons.
Yes.
You know.
Now, granted, I like blowing shit up. What person doesn't like to blow shit up and have fun with it? But just, I'm aware of the fucking irony of us blowing up imported
Well, there's
fireworks.
certain things that should be blown up right now, and there's certain things that shouldn't be.
We
and
cannot name those.
That's all we're going to say on that.
That could be incriminating.
I need to get my quotes out here.
What quotes?
So, we're living a theocracy now. How's that going for everybody?
Yeah. You know, I knew I was an atheist in basically the 7th grade as soon as we started talking about ancient history, and they were like, hey, here's polytheism.
Yeah, Alec and I were trying to figure out when we realized we were atheists.
And then I knew that immediately, because then they go to monotheism. I'm like, wait, what the fuck are you talking about? I never went to church much as a kid anyway. But
Jesus! Oh, God! Oh, Jesus! God! Oh, Mary, Mother of Jesus! Jesus of Nazareth!
Take his name
Peter
in vain.
McNichol, baby.
You know, I also just realized why like Jerry Lee Lewis and Elvis Presley are also really popular with the Jesus crowd.
Because they...
they like underage girls that they want to impregnate. Yeah. I mean, that's what Jesus did.
Elvis sang a lot of gospel, too.
Oh, God.
Some of what you are about to see and hear is explicit.
God made Jesus by raping a teenager.
Wait a minute.
Basically.
Does it say that in the Bible?
Yes, it does.
But what exactly are we talking about here? What happened, Alec?
The Supreme Court of the United States, a.k.a. SCOTUS, did one of the dumbest things they could ever possibly do. So dumb, in fact, that it's reported that dumb old Trump himself was angry at how bad this was for the Republican Party for the next election cycle, even though publicly he had to say he was proud of the decision. He knew this would fuck his team like Catholic priest fucks a child boy in the altar area.
Shit-eating son of a bitch!
I've made a lot of memes, and I don't usually get too political on the internet with Facebook and stuff, and we don't usually get so deep into politics on here, but
I still haven't said what happened.
Roe versus Wade
for the people that don't know.
Was overturned. If you haven't heard about this,
people might be listening to this 4 years from now, and they're like, what happened?
There's probably people who are upset that we're even talking about it, but you know what?
You can fast forward.
Yeah, you can always fast forward, or you know,
they're gonna just turn us off.
Well, that's fine too. I don't honestly care.
They're just giving the power back to the states.
If you, oh God, I don't even know how to say things without just raging hard. Luckily, we've had some time to cope with this.
Yes, this is 3 days later.
Still fucking terrifying. Okay, I got a few first thoughts to get through, just because you seem to be trying to gather your thoughts in a rational way, where you're not just breaking things.
Yeah, I'm trying not to just come off as a crazy, violent person.
Well, we can also point out that they've also made it to where teachers in public schools can lead students in prayer.
So yes,
which is why we're in a theocracy now, apparently.
So Justice Clarence Thomas is a
piece of shit motherfucker.
Black man who should not be supporting
of African American descent.
If you're listening right now, motherfucker.
He does. He has been listening.
No,
fuck you.
So let's listen to him. So as soon as this is done, he also wanted to start looking into many other things. But here's the thing. This dumbass doesn't realize that 200 years ago, he would have not had any fucking power or rights in this nation. And now he wants to go take rights away from other people. Ago. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he has no idea. I even made a meme about it saying, like, you know, because he had this long list of anything that was...
There was another guy who also did call for looking into Brown versus Board of Education and all that shit, too. And basically segregation.
Yeah.
Which wasn't obviously him.
What?
I didn't make a meme about it, because I also made a meme about him wanting to repeal
I think you're referring to the guy who was commenting on that in Plessy versus Ferguson, which would...
Yeah.
But
he mentioned a couple different ones, I'm pretty sure. But
Clarence Thomas seems like such a fucking idiot that he would go so far. He's like a real-life version of the Dave Chappelle skit Blind Supremacy, where he hates black people, yet he is a black man and doesn't fucking understand the damage he's doing to people. Like, he's a real-life fucking joke from Season 1, Episode 1 of Chappelle's Show. Like, he seems stupid enough that he would try to campaign to have the 13th Amendment overturned to bring slavery back. Like, that seems like something that would be in his book of like, oh yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
And then we have Brett Kavanaugh and Amy Coney. What Amy Barrett Coney? What's her fucking name? Something like that. God damn it.
Coney dog.
Coney bitch.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, but
all these people forcing religion.
Well, let's just say I hope Brett Kavanaugh gets his dick caught in a zipper and gets gangrene on his cock, and all the bad things in life happen to him and nobody else.
You know, the only people that are still going to have legal, safe access, and not legal in the traditional rights, but legal access to abortion?
All Republicans, all the mistresses and daughters.
Yes. There is even one, and I read this on the internet the other day, and I don't know if it's accurate or not, but it
people
seems...
in half of the states.
Seems feasible that a Republican senator or House member's daughter or son was basically making every girl he slept with take a Plan B after they had sex.
Yeah.
Like a standard protocol.
Mm-hmm.
Yet you're so against all this stuff, yet... And it all just goes back to the George Carlin skit. You want all these people to be born, and the only reason they want to do that is to keep people into financial slavery.
Basically.
They need to keep people down. So if you're forced to have a baby you can't take care of, and then you'll be shamed for having out of wedlock.
And let's just go out of the way and say that the establishment Democrats are pussies and bitches that let this shit happen, too.
The thing I read that made the most sense, they said that Republicans are the shooter of the Uvalde schools, and the Democrats are the cops that stood outside the door. And it's fucking perfect explanation for what's going on there. If you can't wrap your head around that, they're too fucking cowardly to do anything about it. So you're just basically going to fucking kill. How many women are going to die from getting the care they need or suicide or whatever else because you try to make this illegal unless they're your mistress? So what do they need to do? Go fuck you so they can go get the care they need? Man, we should start a campaign for that. Go fuck a politician so you can get the care
name
you
me
need.
one person other than Ted Cruz who wants to fuck Ted Cruz. You remember that video of him with the tonsil stone on his lip?
What?
Yeah, that's a thing. That's a gnarly motherfucker.
His wife, I guess.
No,
I don't know, man.
It's not consensual.
Well, ever since he let Trump talk shit
And
about
then-
her, I don't know if she'd want to sleep with him or not.
Probably not.
Oh, she probably
What
would.
a
She
spineless
doesn't care.
little fucker.
He has
I
no
just
spine.
can't. Just imagine that fucking body on top of you. Imagine just him kissing you on the lips.
I bet
Just
he's
imagine it for me.
I bet he's a sweater,
No,
too.
because then I'm going to want to do a self-checkout here, and I don't really feel like doing that.
God.
Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
Bastard! Douchebag! Twat!
I saw one of our friends, Bill, he's been on our show before, shared something on Facebook that was shared by a preacher that actually made sense. The only religious thing I've read in the past week that actually wasn't fucking completely psychotic and made me want to fucking have everyone that's religious in any way, shape, or form have their head checked. But it basically said, these people are using this as a way of control. And he admitted that. He admitted that all these current Christians are using it as a way of control. And he says, and they're acting like the Roman Empire in the way that they wanted to control people, and they're not protecting the people that Jesus would have. And he's the only person that seems to understand what he's teaching about. Still doesn't make me believe in it. I mean, it's fucking fairy tales as far as I'm concerned, but whatever helps you sleep at night. Like, I can accept the fact that I'm going to die someday, but I don't need a fucking fairy tale to make me go to sleep at night.
Yeah, it's actually almost comforting knowing that I don't have to stay in this world permanently, or anything resembling it.
It is, and it's more important.
Or with these people
and could
who
you imagine,
lived in this world also.
Could you imagine going to a heaven with all these fucking religious zealots up there that still think they're better than you for eternity?
Aren't they
Fuck
all,
that.
Aren't they all in hell?
Well, no, that's the thing.
No. By their standard, you can buy your way in.
Well, especially if you're in the...
Or get forgiven.
The Mormon religion baptizes the dead, too. So Adolf Hitler's been baptized. Like, according to the Mormon religion, you're going to go to heaven with Adolf Hitler. So is that something you want to do? Like, I mean, fuck.
Yeah. All these things are different, right? And then same thing with Catholics. Like, they can just go get forgiven. So every time they rape a child, they just go to the little confessional booth, jerk one off once more, drink it, and then ask for forgiveness for the sins they've committed. Yet they go about and they keep repeating these things over and over again. Well, what happens if they don't get to repent before they die? Like, what if they die in a fucking car accident all of a sudden? Does that mean they go to hell even though they served Jesus their whole life? And by serve Jesus, I mean touch people in the wrong spots?
Well, right. You see, that's the thing is all these unborn babies are going to hell. And
if they haven't been baptized, even a born baby, if they don't get baptized,
if you're not aware of Jesus, you can't go to heaven. You have to be aware of Jesus. And let's face it, the largest gathering of atheists anywhere at any point in time is the local hospital with all the newborns in that room.
I think some...
Or China.
They are unexposed to the concept of God as
I
babies.
think some of them believe if you're baptized, you'll go to heaven, even if you're not old enough to be aware.
Either way.
But I'm saying in the newborn wing still.
Right.
We've got all these fucking people here that just have this...
I just don't want...
Here's the thing. Here's a question you need to ask somebody. This is great. I heard this question. So, you're in a fertility clinic. You're in a fertility clinic. Can you hear me?
Yeah. It's
because I was launching a program.
You look so low.
Me?
Yeah, he's
camera,
reading something.
But in the camera, you look lower than what you seem in person. I don't know.
So, you're in a fertility clinic. Mm-hmm. In that, there's 1,000 viable human embryos.
Mm-hmm.
The building is on fire.
Mm-hmm.
You can save the embryos with your intent to do so. But on your way out, you hear a child screaming. Mm-hmm. What do you save? You can only save one. The reason of the fire doesn't fucking matter. Option A is the child. Option B is the 1,000 embryos. Option C is everybody dies. That means you just say fuck it and you die with the child and embryos.
Oh, I thought option C was I just run out and leave both of them, because that's what I would do.
That's an option as well.
Option D, say fuck everyone else.
But you know what most Christians will say? They'll come up with some convoluted way to not answer it about blah, 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 blah.
That reminds me of that.
It doesn't. It's not about women's bodies the way we're talking about it. For them, it's about control over women's bodies. It's not about children that aren't born here yet, because they don't give a fuck once that child's here.
I saw this meme.
They don't even protect them at grade schools. You just fucking get them shot down.
This baby, I guess they were frozen as an embryo for like 24 years and alive now. And they're like, that's the difference. If you froze her now for 24 years, she would die.
Yeah.
That's the difference between
Yes, that's
embryo
a very good
or whatever,
fucking point,
and
isn't
a
it?
baby.
Or you see the classic picture of an elephant embryo, and you get
if you
some
can't
jerk off.
if you can't tell what
even tell what it is.
species the fetus is, then.
And I saw another good point that somebody made. They said, a woman wanting an abortion like she wants an ice cream cone is not how it is. A woman wants to get an abortion like she wants to fucking saw her leg off in the movie Saw to escape for her life as a desperate out.
It's traumatizing.
So
miscarriages are traumatizing.
Everyone makes it sound like if you're pro-choice that you want people to just go abort every fucking baby out there. You're like, no, I want people to be able to make the right choice for their body.
I want a time machine to learn how to perform abortion so I can go back and abort Clarence Thomas, Brett Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney. There's a whole list.
Damn, that should be a political satire movie. I bet we could get Michael Moore to make that with us. A fucking time-traveling movie about aborting these people and how much better the world would be without those people. Holy shit.
Either that or they would just replace them with similar fuckers. You know,
probably,
history.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers.
Yeah, they would have put someone else on the court. So
I don't know. Well, we can go abort Trump, too.
I just
kind of like how Professor Farnsworth in Futurama's time traveling, and he's like, just slow the time machine down. I'll shoot Hitler out the window.
Basically. But all these people want to go to heaven with Hitler because he was a believer. He was a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Good Christian man.
He was
You can do a double Dutch rudder with fucking Adolf Hitler and fucking Trump when he kicks the bucket. Could you watch that show? I'd actually probably pay to watch that just because how fucking weird it would be, but they're basically the same person, so... Do we believe in reincarnation?
You know what's going to be funny is how many people don't half-mast the flag when he dies.
Oh, fuck no.
Trump?
Yeah.
You know who else I was on a tangent about while we're just pissed off and angry? I was looking up some of the stuff about the In God We Trust on money, and then obviously One Nation Under God and the Pledge of Allegiance. You know what one individual asshole's the worst president probably in the United States ever? Eisenhower, just for those two things. You know how fucking convoluted and fucked up you ruined the country? You are the downfall of the separation of church and state. Eisenhower, goddamn, if I could go back and abort anybody in history, I'd abort him. I mean, the Hitlers of the world are far better people than him.
It really creeps me out to see In God We Trust on police cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
And God We Trust if you're white with privilege.
Now, especially, yeah. It's even worse.
I don't want to see that on a police car.
No, I don't want to see that on anything.
I mean, especially a police car.
How can you trust a God that fucking allows rape? Allows childhood cancer? Well, that's some God you got there.
It's like part of his system.
Yeah, supposedly.
Yeah, he's teaching lessons.
You know that whole story of the angels coming to rape the townspeople and Lot offering up his own daughters to be raped by the angels?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone was talking about that story.
The whole fucking Abraham and his son up on the hill, killing his son for God. Like, that's fucked. What the fuck are you talking about, people? Like,
People need these stories.
They tell that like it's a moral story, too, though. But it's not.
Is that the Old Testament? They'll say, that's not canon.
Well, if it... Exactly.
Yeah.
That's not... That's
only the Jews believe that one. Come on.
Then why is it in the book that you read?
Exactly.
And here's the funny thing is,
but they cherry pick some things out of it still.
A lot
and
of these
still happen. That's your history of your religion.
So I was in a neighborhood for work earlier, right? And you know you're in an upper middle class white neighborhood.
Man, you're Scooby-Dooing all over the place.
I probably drove by, 45 houses or whatever in the neighborhood, just passing through, going through on my way for work. And I probably saw at least 15 signs that said, vote.
On Plan A or whatever it is.
Vote in November, or not in November.
Yeah, Kansas is up for vote, and Missouri is just already... Missouri was the first state to ban abortions after this.
They already had, yeah.
And Kansas is the two states that we frequent here.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think this is going to cause people to move and relocate to make red states
people say,
redder.
well, no. Well, yeah. People
but
like,
no one can afford to fucking move, you dumb bastard.
They're like, if you don't want to live in an...
Good idea for that. Because
leave,
no one can afford to fucking live anywhere. Yeah. So where am I going to house this child that I can't afford because you can't fucking figure out inflation and corporate greed and taxes? Dumbasses.
Yeah, we're in a societal collapse, it seems.
The decline of Western civilization. This is late-stage capitalism at its finest. We are... kind of feel guilty for having kids, knowing the world we're putting them in, but I'm hoping as these boomers all fucking die off, we have a chance to fix things.
Hold on. There's a song I feel like that's relevant. I'm not going to play the song, but I will read the lyrics to you.
Yeah, conservatism and religion are both dying.
And what people don't realize is, like, if you're a young person, you don't like this bullshit, you have to vote. When you say your vote doesn't matter, you know whose vote, you know who has nothing to do but vote and, like, fucking reinforce their old white people ways? Fucking boomers. Old people, elderly, retired people. They have nothing to do. Why do you think they all fucking volunteer at the voting booths?
Your vote doesn't matter a lot, but it matters a little.
Matters a lot compared to them. If numbers come, like, those people have nothing to do besides vote and try to reinforce their ways, even though they're on the fucking verge of death. These are people that are not... It's arguable that, you know, you could say age discrimination, but these are people that don't have a job set for the workforce in the way that other people do. Right? And they're running the country? Fucking scary. Isn't it terrifying? Like the person that's like can't figure out how the fucking unlock screen works on their smartphone.
Like we should be, right now what should be happening is we should be celebrating universal health care just got passed.
Yes.
That's what we should be doing right now in a future society. Oh, there's a universal basic income. Sure, it's only $1,000 a month to start, but that's something.
Yes.
That's where we should be at. We should be in these places, but we're not.
Well, if you're going to force all these boroughs, you got to have something in place to take care of all these people.
No, that's the thing, they don't, because then they keep control over you. If they have financial control over you, you have to fucking do what they say.
Protecting fetuses is like praying, because you're not actually doing anything for anyone.
Yeah. Well, if you need an abortion, just send them to a Texas public grade school, because that's where they happen now.
No, not just in Texas.
Yeah, pretty much. Just a grade
Just send them to school.
Yeah.
Public school.
Private schools, too. Well, yeah, they get raped and molested more at private schools because it's religion-based. But yeah, makes sense.
Well, that's the other thing.
Pick your poison. You want to get shot or you want to get raped?
They're sending tax money to religious schools now, too.
Yeah.
I don't want any of my money going to this.
No. Yeah. But they sure like their roads, don't they? And their fire departments.
They sure like public school being free.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure are enjoying food regulations.
Well, I was just saying I don't want tax money going to religious schools.
They do like that. Uh-huh. All right. Well, I'm fucking bored and angry with that now. I've been so pissed about this for 3 days, I don't know if I can talk about it anymore. So let's get on to something fun.
Something fun.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about Obi-Wan?
Yeah, let's talk about
Obi-Wan. Is the show called Obi-Wan Kenobi? Is that it?
We haven't listened to this theme song in a while, so we're gonna do it for this.
What is it?
Water cooler, cold, cold, water cooler, cold, cold, water cooler, cold, cold, water cooler, cold, cold, water cooler, join the cold, water cooler, drink it out, water cooler,
There's a delay again.
Fucking lame. Well, it is a 5-year-old computer at this point.
We might visually be out of sync with our mouths.
Might
our
be.
voices.
Shut this off. Shut these all
off. So...
Is that your edit marker, or are we going to continue?
No, we're continuing. Okay. I'm not going to...
So, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
You're just going to deal.
Yeah, you're pretty much caught up again.
Oh, there I am. There I am. Maybe it's because you're moving windows around.
I'm sure it is.
Okay.
But I'm only doing that because I see you staring at it and pointing it out, so then I have to move things to look. So I'm just going to leave it up here for now.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Last episode dropped last
you
week.
Mean old,
That's a name I haven't heard.
You mean Old Ben?
In a long time.
Old Ben Kenobi?
Old Ben.
Hello there.
Is it me you're looking for?
So this is why...
When I was a child, I thought Alec Guinness also played the captain of the ship in Titanic, but it's not the same actor.
So this is why Leia names her son Ben, right? But Ben's not his real name. That was like his cover name. So why didn't she name Kylo Ren Obi-Wan?
I don't know. You think he'd fucking go into witness protection and change her entire last name, which someone else like realized, like, why did Leia take up her adopted name, Organa, and Luke just stayed as a Skywalker?
Because his aunt and uncle were Skywalkers.
Because it wasn't planned ahead like that.
No.
Because that's after.
He's living on his dad's planet with his dad's last name, and they can't find him.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
But Vader doesn't know he exists, right?
Is one of the most
Didn't he think that his twins died?
things I have ever heard.
Sorry, what?
Didn't you think the twins died with Padme, though? Like, he doesn't know
Yeah.
Luke exists to even look for him, right? They're just
Right.
looking for Obi-Wan and all the Jedi. So,
Mhm.
But still, don't they have, like, a registry? Doesn't the Empire have, like, a... Don't they do, like, a...
Sure
what do
they
they
do.
call
I
it? What
don't
do they call it?
fucking know, man.
Census. Don't they do a census?
Yeah, they do.
Or is Tatooine part of the Empire? I forget. It's like on the outer rim or whatever. I don't know.
I don't fucking know, man. The Empire just
They
kind
don't
of
have a
thinks they're
phone
in
book?
charge of everything.
That's a good porn parody name, the Outer Rim Job. Sci-fi porn.
Sure, it's been done.
Oh, I guarantee you 1,000 times.
So
The Outer Rim Job
Have we
of
talked
Uranus.
about the show at all? Did we talk a little about the first episode or something?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about the
two or
first
three, maybe?
couple because it dropped 2 originally.
2, yeah, right. Yeah.
6-episode limited series.
Maybe we might be getting a season 2.
All right, let's just talk about it. Obi-Wan is dope. I like the show overall, but I just mean Obi-Wan himself.
Is a dope.
Ewan McGregor
Yeah.
did a good job. I mean, he came back in his role, and I don't know. I'd say that's just as strong, if not the strongest, performance of Obi-Wan.
Well, it's the same thing as the prequels. Like he's just such a good actor. And
Yeah.
He really carried those when you think about it, right? You know, he did such a great job of making it believable and making you give a fuck.
He's what makes you want to watch episode 1 again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh.
They did a few things that
I don't
were...
want to watch it.
I mean, if that's the most redeeming quality of it. I mean, you get a little Liam Neeson in there too, but his
it's Darth Maul with the 2.
I like Watto.
Well,
I think he's a pretty cool guy.
Darth Maul is
What?
cool, but he's
The bug guy that flies around?
The racist.
he says like 2
caricature
lines and shit, you know, so it's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
that owns slaves.
He reminds me of
That guy?
SCOTUS.
SCOTUS.
Yeah, he reminds me of
They should have
Justice.
called him Scrotus.
My name is the Brett Kavanaugh.
Basically.
Only
I win the race. I give you the boy.
Judge Clarence Thomas.
Basically. Yeah, no, this series is well done. I had a lot of fun with it. The first couple episodes start off a little slow, which when you're doing a limited run, something you can't do in a movie, you have time for character development. Tell us where they've been. They kind of set up that Obi-Wan has completely removed himself from the Force, so he's not able to be found.
Which I didn't like, but hey, I guess.
I didn't love that,
Yeah,
but
he's not
it
one
makes
with the
sense
Force
that
in
he
the
was.
beginning.
It makes sense in the fact that other Jedis were still being hunted and killed because they were trying to stay active with the Force, and so he would survive so long by just disengaging himself, which we see Luke Skywalker do later on. So, because of that, I was like, okay, that kind of has some validity to it.
He gave Luke that T-16 toy at the beginning, and then
Remember,
again at the
remember
end.
that toy he's playing with 10 years
Yeah.
later? When he's 19? Yep. Get a Toshi
Well, and that's what they used to fly around to shoot the swamp rats with.
Oh, yeah. They were no more than 2 meters.
Yeah.
I don't think they're called swamp rats, were they?
I don't know.
Swamp rats? No, maybe not. Something. Womp rats is what I meant.
I was
Womp
about to
rats.
say, I think that's close, but now
I
I can't remember.
added
There's no swamps on Tatooine.
Yeah.
There's this sand.
Swamp ass on Tatooine.
The whole planet is
You know what
sand.
else is really cool? They didn't fucking
They don't
hang
be
out
eating ass on Tatooine.
No. Mm-mm.
You don't dare.
Yeah, they surprisingly spent very
Do you
little time.
moisturize your own butt sweat and tears from on Tatooine, though? That's a question I'd like to know. Hey, George, do you guys, they're moisture farmers, so, like, if you gotta, if you're out there sweating away, do you go stand by that thing so it can evaporate it for you?
They might be sodium farmers at that point. Fucking.
I don't know. We don't know the dynamics of
They
how
sell
they
their
sweat.
body sweat for table seasoning.
Yeah, or, like, are certain species have a purer water, like bottled water brands you can get? Like, do people, like, go for a certain type of sweat from evaporators?
I don't know. Maybe you could come into the moisture farm device and
It
it
probably
would just
evaporate the
extract.
stuff out, but what's it do to the other stuff? Does it, like, crystalline? Can you, like, snort the
It's like
rest of
Mr.
it?
Fusion. It just uses that as fuel.
Oh, okay.
I need fuel.
Fair enough.
Come in me. If you could come in Mr. Fusion, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, there's no reason you couldn't.
That's true.
If you're desperate to get
It
out of a
shoves
sticky
anything
situation.
in there. You could shit in that thing.
Yes.
Mr. Fusion
That would
rules.
probably
That's
work
the greatest
really
invention
well,
of that whole
actually.
series is Mr. Fusion.
Yeah, looking back, man, damn. I need a Mr. Fusion.
Yeah, they need that to really
Gas
happen.
prices now, my God.
Oh, shit.
I guess that doesn't... The the DeLorean runs on regular gasoline.
Mm-hmm.
That's an issue. You can only time travel with shit. You can't actually run the car.
Yeah, you still need gas.
Unfortunately.
Epic.
So the only things really worth talking about are the encounters of Obi-Wan and Vader, right?
Well, not exactly. The...
Exactly.
what's it called? What are they called? The Grand Inquisitor and his
the
people.
Inquisitors, yeah.
And her arc is interesting. I liked that.
Yeah, looking at it as a whole now, I think it's all right. Yeah.
A lot of people really hated her brashness at the beginning, and it was really a lot of subdued racism. People trying to say it was other shit.
I think maybe
bogus.
the mustache twirling villain may not be her strong suit, or just that maybe the direction she was giving, or she's not a convincing.
The point was that she was angry
villain.
and confused. She was in this spot out of desperation, which you find out later on. Like somehow she was spared by Anakin and still survived.
Yeah.
So she's got a weird allegiance to him, yet she's still terrified of him and wants
Why
revenge.
didn't they just kill her? Why would they recruit her as an Inquisitor? I don't understand that.
I think that was something later on. Anyone that they could turn.
But when she acts like an actual human being, I think she does a good job acting. For sure.
Yeah, in the last episode, you really come around when like she's there with Obi-Wan, and you kind of
when
agree.
she's talking to him through the
And
door in episode 4 or 5. Or
Reva
whatever.
is her name, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked her in the last couple episodes, where Obi-Wan's like taunting her, is like, "Hey, I'm gonna bring you to him." Or
I'm not sure I understand her motivations though, because like she still wanted to kill Luke in the last one, and as revenge. I don't really understand how that worked. This is all a setup to kill Vader. I don't really.
I think it was partially revenge, and it was also partially kind of like this is Darth Vader's son. He's going to grow up to be Darth Vader Jr.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think that was more of a proactive. It's like us at the beginning of the episode when we talked about going back in time and aborting people. It's kind of one of those ways. How do you stop someone from becoming that? Not that everyone's going to become their parents, but
wait. It's just now occurred to me. We can't make that movie. They already made that movie. It's called Terminator. He is the Terminator. And he goes back in time to terminate her pregnancy.
Well,
fuck yeah!
Kill her
you're
before
right.
she gets
because
pregnant.
she is pregnant at the end of the movie when he's trying to kill her.
But he's trying to kill her before she gets pregnant too.
That's true, but still, that movie's been made. Unfortunately, damn
it.
But if he hadn't gone back in time to kill her, she wouldn't have gotten pregnant with John
I mean, the
Connor
second one's just a late-term abortion he's trying to perform.
Yeah,
by hunting down John Connor.
That's called the Texas abortion at this rate.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, back to Obi-Wan. Oh god, the Vader stuff was epic. Those are some good battles. I liked Reva by the end of the series a lot, though.
I liked Vader. I liked how you almost felt like Obi-Wan might be able to reach him, but he can't because of the plot.
They hint that there's like a dyad in the Force, like you see later on with Rey and Ben. And they kind of show the beginnings of that, which, in theory they could explore later on. But if they're going to do another, they say limited series, right? So I don't think you're going to get another season. They may title it something different. They could call it Darth Vader. And
they've said they'll do another season if the fans want it. And I feel like they're going to do it.
Yeah, but
they should, because this was one of the better. I mean, I like Boba Fett, but this gave us a little more to be satisfied with.
Actually have some Jedi stuff in there and some character development, right? We see that Leia's the sassy kind of kid character that in real life we see people alienating and telling.
All right, don't remind me of the Leia stuff, because that first episode with the Leia stuff was bad.
That wasn't it?
That was
it
fucking
got
awful.
So much better after that.
They need to play some sillier music while they're chasing her in the woods.
Yeah, like
No, they needed to have like the Cantina band playing in the background for that. That would have been more fitting.
They should just be playing the clown
Besides
theme song
episode
with
1, I thought Leia was okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah. I mean, they try to show her off as
yeah.
this like strong, independent little kid, which she is, but I felt like the first episode just really made you kind of be like, oh my god. And I know there's all the internet hate
went
about.
a little too far with her.
I like the stuff with like, I knew your father and I knew your mother and shit.
Yeah.
I should have been your father.
Yeah, that felt tasteful.
I mean, I could have been.
Yeah. I mean,
I did one time fuck both of your parents, though. And let me tell you, your dad's a bottom.
And he has a bottom. Well, maybe not anymore. We don't know what he lost.
I'm certainly bigger than him now.
Yeah, that got burned right off.
Could have been arguable before, but I'm winning now.
It's a little nub.
It appears your Schwartz is as big as mine.
Even if he has it, he can't feel it.
Mm-hmm. And I love the Vader stuff in there. Hayden Christensen under the makeup looking fucking terrifying.
And I loved the voice modulation where it was switching back.
The last episode where it was like broken, yeah.
And it was him talking, but then it was also Vader on the Vader, like, modulation on top of it.
That sounded so good. I love that.
Yeah. And his lightsaber battling. Let's talk about this, because everybody loves Rogue One. This was fucking So this is up here. Rogue One is down here because Rogue One is not an accurate depiction of how Darth Vader is thought of to be or even portrayed before. He's all of a sudden like he's such a weird ninja in that. And this one, it feels closer to the original movies.
The battle scenes, it's a little bit slower. The lightsaber fights are intense, but they're a little slower. But the big thing you get between this and
it doesn't
obviously
feel quite so choreographed.
Episode 4,
like the prequels, I think.
Yeah, Episode 4. You don't see them like throwing Force stuff around, like
You mean the movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the episode of the A New Hope. Sorry.
Yeah, they did a little much of that. I thought.
Yeah, just
throwing shit around.
using the environmental stuff around because it doesn't make sense that they go away from using that and like having a more respectful fight. And
there's
A New
no
Hope.
consistency in the series anyway. So.
No, there's not.
Yeah, I mean that's the unfortunate thing. This one's more consistent within the universe than Rogue One, is what I'm saying, though.
For Vader's appearance, yes.
Not his appearance, like how he looks, but how he fights.
Yes, his mannerisms.
He was actually using one hand at one point to fucking fight Kenobi off.
And Hayden Christensen said he studied a lot of the old footage to kind of get that right. So that's pretty
I liked
cool.
it.
Like I told Alec after watching this, I feel like I see Hayden Christensen's Anakin in the Vader suit now. Like watching the original.
You do need that. Yeah, you don't really feel that before, but this really kind of seals the deal and ties that.
Seeing him actually in it, it's like, okay.
Some of these fight scenes and some of that stuff feels like it should have been straight out of Revenge of the Sith, because that's what you should have seen instead of the actual ending, right? Cut out the first third of Revenge of the Sith and then have some of this stuff in there. And then obviously now we're lucky because we can do that and bridge that gap and have it feel more authentic.
Yeah, that was the thing about that when Episode 3 came out. Like, that is still the best of those movies, the prequels.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the one I rewatched that one quite a bit, honestly, when I watched Star Wars stuff. But like that was the thing. Like going into it, you expected more of Vader, not just more Anakin and then 3 seconds.
Yeah, because he doesn't put on the suit till the last.
Yeah, and so Hayden Christensen, he wore the suit at the end of that.
Right.
In Rogue One, it was a completely different character, which is crazy anyway. And he actually did some work. He's on the con circuit a lot. He was one of the characters in he's the asshole in Guardians of the Galaxy that has Star-Lord's headphones at the jail. Same actor.
Hayden Christensen?
No,
the guy in the Vader suit.
The guy in Rogue One, yeah, but it just kind of makes you think, okay, now that we see this, like he clearly has that character down, like it's his evolution of that. It's much more believable that way.
Well, I don't know if you said it before, but in Rogue One, Vader's voice just sounds wrong. It just sounds like old man.
It is, because his lines are actually dubbed by James Earl Jones, and obviously
this was AI completely, or
yes.
Well, the program that's credited is an AI program, although people are debating it because
it sounds just like the original.
What they may have just gone through and actually
they probably had him record the lines and fed that into the machine, which tries to recreate
and then try to make it sound right instead of just letting it sound.
Yeah,
like
so it almost
old
be
man
like
James Earl Jones.
It'd almost be like a plug-in or just a filter on there to make it sound more authentic and de-age his
I still
voice.
think it's more AI than James at this point, though.
Guaranteed.
It sounds great, though.
I guarantee you they have enough in this AI now that they would never need James Earl Jones to do anything new again for them if they chose not to.
He read the whole Bible, so they should be able
What
to
about
get
the
it from there.
flashback scenes with them training? Hayden looks a little old in those still.
Yeah,
It doesn't
seem
quite
like
work
they
out.
de-aged it.
They should have just deep faked his face.
Yeah,
it's not that hard.
I don't know why.
Why do they keep fucking that up?
I don't know why they make the decisions they make.
I don't know.
They keep fucking that up, and people on the internet can do it so much better. And they hired the one guy to do Luke Skywalker again. Did you not hire him to do this too? Because you should have.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luke looked a lot better in Boba Fett, obviously.
It wasn't as imperative to the story, though, since we're,
I wasn't too concerned about it, but I was like, he doesn't look right,
No, yeah, he doesn't look right. Obi-Wan looked fine because you're like, whatever.
He didn't sleep the night before.
Ewan McGregor is fucking
and he did a
aged
bunch of
gracefully.
coke.
Yeah.
Well,
he looks like fucking.
It's called spice in the Star Wars.
He looks like Ray Liotta in Goodfellas at the end when he's looking at the helicopters and shit.
R.I.P.
No, I thought it was fun.
I really liked. We finally did get a Liam Neeson at the end there.
I was wondering what the fuck they're waiting on. I was like, is he actually going to?
I thought he was going to show up at one point and be like,
give him some wisdom.
Yes,
maybe.
That's what I was going to say. Give him some wisdom.
Relevant.
Yeah.
Unless this is like some kind of hook for a sequel season or whatever,
Well, and I think that could be it.
Qui-Gon and
it felt like because that's
Buddy-
hinted
buddy
at. Is that-
adventure.
He's like Slimer,
yeah.
just hanging out always.
Eats everything.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what they imply, right? That Qui-Gon figured this out, and then I loved how they set up. He's like, yeah, you weren't ready for this.
There's a better.
Okay, that's kind of fair, because he had lost his faith in his practice, so.
There's a better cameo than Qui-Gon.
What's your favorite cameo?
The Emperor. Come on.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that is pretty sick.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to do his, too, because it's just a little hologram. I wish
They did the live-action portrayal of Vader's lair.
Yeah.
Like his house, I guess, where he
Mustafar,
likes to chill
yeah.
on Mustafar, yeah.
Mustafar.
This is where I lost my dick.
I love how he stays on that planet, probably just to keep his rage up.
That's what they say is the logic behind that, yeah.
Vader was great in there. The Emperor, I would have liked to have seen more of the Emperor in there, but here's the thing. Like, if they do a season 2, I hope they call it Darth Vader and show it more from Darth's side of him just fucking terrorizing the galaxy and having a little bit of Obi-Wan in it, maybe.
It sounds dumb to want a Vader series, but I do want a Vader series. Like, it just sounds so obvious. And
well, they probably will. I mean,
now that they've done it with Hayden and he did such a good job with everything, like, they really fucking bridge that gap so well. It makes.
I just want to see him and the Emperor just fucking tearing ass through the
I want to
galaxy.
see the Emperor belittling him and like making him become more of an asshole. Because like here, he still feels like he's on the edge when he's around Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I guess that's
like,
a lot.
He's having that flashback.
That's a big thing in the comics and the novels that he just tortures the fuck out of Vader.
Yeah,
he kind of did. He gave him some shit in this one. Remember?
Yeah, he's basically talking shit on him, but like whatever.
Yeah, you need to get over Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I like that.
So I would love to see more of that. What was your favorite episode? Did you have a favorite episode?
I think 6. I think
It's probably the last one, just because of that fucking epic lightsaber shit, man. The other lightsaber battle is my other favorite episode.
After he cuts half his helmet off, I thought that was a really great scene.
Yeah, I did like that because of the
Good
scar
acting.
we've always seen on there. Like that made sense.
That
it was
scar
one of those,
on. Yeah.
It was one of those things like.
Now we know how he got the scar.
Well, lots of times you don't fucking need that, or when they do it, it's fucking so gross to the
Well, see,
audience.
it's not like-
asinine. It feels like it just
They
it
don't
happens as part of
point
the
it
battle.
out. They don't point it out. Like, oh.
Right.
The mask gets fucked up.
It's one of those things that's like, kind of like how he lost his hand in the prequels. We knew he had to lose limbs somehow, but he lost one before the whole fire death incident too.
Yeah.
So I like it.
So speaking of which, I just realized like why I didn't like Luke Skywalker in the sequel series.
Why?
He doesn't have enough robotic parts. He didn't follow his dad's arc close enough.
No.
He should
I
have
didn't
been.
mind him in the sequel. He was not one of the things that I didn't like.
That's not the bad part of 8,
Not for me.
No, I wish he would have been more robotic though.
He had his Terminator hand.
Yeah. But you only saw that like the one time. Other than that, it's all fucking.
You want him to get more limbs chopped off?
He used to jerk off with that hand, I'm sure.
Could you imagine you could just crush that thing if you were getting used to it?
Well, he is not doing it anymore. I'm sure he jerks off with his regular hand now.
Fuck, he jerks off with the Force. Like he may be Force disconnected, but he just makes it happen.
Well, that's what I was saying about Obi-Wan. Like, he doesn't even use the
What if
Force.
you're masturbating and Ghost Yoda just shows up?
About to come, you are, Oh,
I brought some wings.
the boy is too old.
Jesus.
The boy is too old. Too old, yep.
Pretty much. Oh,
Found
Jesus.
some cum you have, no?
Speaking of
no Yoda in this series. Come on.
Well,
Fuck my pussy.
Now you're set up so you could actually have Yoda have those conversations with Qui-Gon. So I'm okay with that. Whether or not we ever see any of that, I don't
visit
care.
Dagobah.
I would like to see. I wouldn't mind seeing Yoda again as long as they portrayed him the way they did in.
Well, remember
Return of the Jedi, where he's loopy as fucking weird.
Did Obi-Wan know that Yoda was on Dagobah before he died?
Well, this
or
thing,
is that
he's
something he learned after
he's
he died?
weird in Empire, Jedi, none of the prequels. But
Who's
then when
weird?
Yoda, and then when they brought him back
He
again,
was weird in Empire because he was pretending to be a weird.
But then he
alien.
was just weird anyway.
Yeah.
And then he's weird in Jedi, and then
He's
he is
dying. He's senile.
My point is, Yoda is a weird person, and then in the prequels, he is not weird, and it's boring.
Yeah,
he's a little too much. I can understand. Shut
Yoda.
the fuck up. I can understand him being a little bit.
He's professional. He's at work. He's at work the whole time.
God. But I'm just saying, he in Rise of Skywalker, whatever.
Yeah, he's fucking with
He's good in that.
Last
He's
Jedi.
weird, yes, and he burns the thing down and he's like laughing and he's a puppet again. And I love that portrayal of Yoda.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. It goes in line with what you know.
Frat boy Yoda.
It's not Catholic priest rapey Yoda from the prequels. Like everyone's like, oh, he has the lightsaber fight. You're like, I don't give a fuck
will
about
teach him.
I don't give a fuck about the dwarf guy having a no, it's me, that's asinine. I don't care about
Little
the little
person.
guy. I don't care about the what is this species called? We don't even know yet. I don't care about Yoda
species.
having a smaller lightsaber because he's little. He should have a larger lightsaber, same size as everyone else.
Yeah.
The handle should be
How do you be that
small still, but yeah.
Yeah, why did he get a little one? Isn't that discrimination?
I don't know. Probably the same reason they added fucking Count to the guy who had played Dracula's before his name.
Count Dooku.
Yeah.
This guy was Dracula.
Count Dooku, and like, okay, let's like call him Count Dookie. Okay, great, we get it. You like the Green Day album. Now you're fucking writing movies. Jesus, people.
Right.
A lot of cringe, but there's still some good. There's still some gems that come out of this stuff. You know, we're going to see more Yoda because he died at over 900 years old, and so all the other shit they're going to try to fill in with the timelines. How do you not have a 900-year-old person in that?
Well, Yoda's going to leave Dagobah and go on an adventure.
Yeah, they're going to fill in that gap too.
Yeah.
Yoda going out there slaying, Yoda repopulating his species.
With Yaddle. Did Yaddle survive?
I don't know.
The girl
No,
Yoda,
Yaddle
the girl
dies.
Yoda from the first one?
Yaddle dies.
When did she die?
It's canon.
She died yodeling.
Order 66?
Probably. I don't know. I just know.
Order 69 is how she died, dude.
That's a pretty sick way to die.
Her and Yoda, they go together like a yin-yang sign.
Yoda.
Well, I guess it's time for the final review of the night.
Front Row Video Reviews with the Frog Brothers Podcast.
Damn it, Beavis. We got to talk about this new movie, and I'm going to kick you in the nuts.
Don't do that the whole time. Everybody will shut it off.
I know.
I'll shut it right.
I've already done it.
I know. I've already been doing
This
it.
review is over.
It's done.
Beavis and Butthead to
Well,
the
why don't
universe.
each one of you take a character?
Oh, Jesus, no.
No, no one wants to hear that. We could do it very well.
I'm
but
wearing my
we'd be
T-shirt.
better off if
My
we were reading in a
T-shirt.
script.
Yeah, this movie came out.
So,
I was on Paramount Plus one night and I realized, oh, hey, this is out already. I should watch that. And then I watched it immediately, even though it was like 2 in the morning because I was just kind of stoked.
Yeah, didn't it drop earlier than it was supposed to?
I don't
I
know.
don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Probably dropped at midnight and I just hadn't noticed.
Yeah,
Well,
I just
that
knew that
2
when I
a.m.
went to
at
watch
our
it, it was
time.
already.
It dropped the day it was supposed to.
Yeah, I turned it on and immediately it got going into the like video game credit looking intro.
Yeah, they're flying around in some space video game.
Yeah. I have a couple notes, but not many.
Yeah, I just kind of sat back and watched the movie.
I have a couple notes
So-
about the beginning because that's when it's all.
So is the 2011 season not canon? Because obviously they were in 2011 in the 2011 season.
They don't ever say. The only
I'm not even that concerned about it. There's no. I don't need.
I need to
canon
know
for
about
it.
the canonicness and
The only thing from the 2011 season that's different is that
they're
showing
watching Jersey Shore. That
they're
can't
showing
be
current
98.
MTV show seasons.
Exactly.
Which
There's
makes
drones.
sense.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Drones are a big thing. I mean, it's very timely.
But this movie starts in 98 and then they time travel to 2022.
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, I get it.
that was a short season. I don't think too many people saw that. So I think for a lot of diehard fans are going to watch this movie.
You get
just ignore
framing,
that
and it's
season.
basically Butthead like, "Hello, I bet you've been wondering what we're up to."
Yeah.
And then basically it goes back to the science fair where he's kicking Beavis in the nuts over and over. And he's like, the fucking teacher comes over and he's like, is this like, what are you doing? Like, is this your science fair project? And he's like,
Science fair.
yeah, what? I'm just kicking him in the balls. Or I'm just seeing how many times it takes to kick Beavis in the balls before he cries or something. What does he say?
Passes out or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, passes out.
And then there's like that.
The football kicker leg
Yeah.
that's there is supposed to measure something that they use.
Yeah, and they end up burning the place down, of course.
Yeah, Beavis gets kicked square in the nuts again.
And then the court guy's like, I watched an episode of Touched by Angel last night, and I have a change of heart. I'm going to send you boys to space camp.
Which is fucking epic. I love it.
Yeah, space camp is timely for the late 90s because I would always see the commercials and want to do it, but not really want to do it.
Yeah, that's an 80s movie we should talk about.
I have the VHS.
Space camp?
Fuck yeah.
What the fuck does that say?
I don't know, but they get to the program there, and right, everyone's like, oh, aren't you guys so proud to be here and so lucky to be here? And they figure out how to do this docking because it's like basically inserting a...
Oh, yeah.
It's basically the insertion, and they fucking got it down, and they just practice for hours and hours and hours, and everyone's like, oh, God, they're perfect for this. Can we have these
kids do it for
this?
real?
Yeah, and then again, it's more of them thinking they're going to get laid.
I have a couple lines here. One that's good is lady's talking about a wormhole, and Beavis is like, whoa, wormholes? I always wonder how worms scored.
Yeah. I think Beavis's dialogue, since he kind of like rambles to himself a little bit, is so much funnier than Butthead's. Because he's always got some like insightful bullshit spewing out of his mouth.
And then they go through all this fucking training montage type shit, and Beavis has an epic speech before they get on the ship.
Fucking amazing speech.
He's like, I just want to say, like,
He is thankful for his opportunity and shit.
Exactly.
Just goes through the whole spiel.
It's pretty awesome.
You're like, God damn, that's great for anybody to have a speech like that, let alone these idiots.
And of course, they fuck up the mission and.
Only because they blinded themselves.
Yeah, they blind themselves by looking through
a telescope.
Yeah, telescope at the sun. Yeah, like that's a good way to do it.
Jesus Christ. And then you get they decide they have to kill two people, and she basically ends up trying to murder them.
Yeah.
Because they were peeping at her.
Yeah, they were peeping at her, changing like, yeah, we're gonna watch her. Yeah, she said to go watch her.
Right. And black hole, all blah blah blah. They wake up on the beach area.
In Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Texas.
In 2022.
Yep. And this is where my notes kind of don't really make any more sense.
It's so timely, though, because you basically find out that the space commander there has become is she the president of Texas? Not the governor of Texas. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because, Texas is
she governor, running for governor or something? Yeah,
I think she's governor of Texas or whatever they imply. And then one of the other former astronauts.
Yeah, he's our lieutenant governor. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty funny, but you find out she's corrupt as all bullshit, and she's got serious fucking guilt about what she did to these kids.
I like the Beavis and Butthead from an alternate universe.
Oh, Smart Beavis and Smart Butthead. Yeah, that was fucking glorious.
Fucking classic. I love how they're... Oh, yes, very droll, very droll.
Yeah. It's like total Beavis and Butthead, but they're actually smart. And like, no, we're just the smartest of all the Beavis and Buttheads.
They're still morons, basically.
Yeah. But their society is so advanced that even these dipshits still like are way better off than the others.
Yep. The white privilege scene stands out when they're wrecking a police car.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, no, you don't get it. I have white privilege. It's okay.
Yeah, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, they stumble into like a college liberal arts course or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when they go to college, yeah.
And they get
Was that Tig Notaro, whatever her name is, voicing the instructor?
Fuck, I don't know.
Is?
Gary Cole was the voice of one of the FBI agents.
Yeah, I didn't look at the voice cast on this
tell.
one as much as I usually did. Yeah, but good cast for sure.
They had lots of little bits. I'll look some of that up right now while we're talking about it.
They didn't get Bruce Willis to do a voice in this one.
No, they didn't. Well, he's retired from acting now. I mean, he probably still could have done his voice for it, but yeah, you never know. But he also maybe not have wanted to do a Beavis and Butthead sequel as his last feature film. You just don't know.
Yeah, Gary Cole, Tig Notaro.
Yeah, I thought that was
Notaro. Why did I say it like that?
Tig Notaro.
Is that something you said, or was that something...
I think you repeated what he said.
Right.
I don't know. He said it left.
Stephen Root, the jail artist.
Well, who'd have thought?
Really. Oh, Phil Lamar. He's a good voice actor. He's in Futurama, and he was also in Pulp Fiction as Marvin.
Oh, yeah.
I just shot Marvin in the face. What the hell you do that for? I didn't do it on purpose. Where else does this movie go?
We basically get to see, you know, they kind of come around at the end and come out just back to where they were, which is good. That was the most bullshit thing ever because I don't have any notes in front of me.
You're like, and the movie just sort of ends.
Yeah, it's kind of pretty good.
No, it does drag a little when they get to their house and there's like people in their house selling it and looking at it and shit, and it's kind of like, this movie's only 86 minutes long and it feels like it could do with some cuts.
Yeah.
But it was still mostly enjoyable and I had a good time overall.
Should be like an hour and 10 minutes.
Well, learning about Beavis's mom, like owning the house and everything else.
Which they weren't learning about, and then I loved how
you get dozed off during this part because I saw the end.
Remember earlier you were talking about Wayne's World, but there's a bit where he's like, oh yeah, Shirley Beavis, who owned the house before, yeah, it's a shame, it's a terrible story. She and then they turn on the garbage disposal so you can't hear anything he's saying.
Yeah.
And then it paused out and then she persevered and went forward, and then they turn it back on.
Basically, yeah, they finally sold the house because it had sat empty for all the time they were gone.
Yeah, and then the government ends up, she ends up realizing that they just wanted to fuck her.
Yeah, and then
she's like, oh, you just wanted to fuck me, like, and they're like, yeah, so like, can we do that? And she's like, no. Well, let me think about it. And then smart Beavis and Butthead show up, and smart Beavis proclaims his love for her.
Yeah, right as regular Beavis is about to, and he gets pissed off for it.
And then he takes her, and he's like, we'll go through the cosmos, and you'll see all the things, and maybe we'll do it.
And he says something about him having a big schlong.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, by the way, I have a really big schlong. I hope you don't mind. So yeah, I think that's kind of how it ends.
I thought they were actually going to get laid.
Finally going to score?
Well, no, they finally have one of them get scored because you see that whole, like, it was the Rick and Morty moment of the episode where you see all the multiverse Beavis and Buttheads at the end.
Yeah.
Like, talking about it because they said basically she like, bailed out the next morning and, like, never returned calls or texts.
Yeah.
So, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, one Beavis scored. And Butthead watched, they said.
Yeah.
He watched from the corner or something.
He watched from the foot of the bed, I think
yeah.
is what they said. No, I thought it was good. I mean, because it felt like classic Beavis and Butthead. It told a story that didn't feel like it was fucking rehashed a million times.
Well, it was still, if you think about it, really hard. The story is still about them traveling across the country, the universe, because they mistakenly think someone wants to fuck them.
Yes, no, and the basic premise, but it felt different. Just the plot premise.
Yeah, no, it was different enough that you're not even thinking about that because that's just in the characters. They're always trying to do that, so it's.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
No, the jokes are timely. I mean, it's pretty funny, and it's hilarious to hear back like people saying nads and schlong and stuff like that. You know, people talk like that so much in the 90s.
Schlong, I'm bringing it back.
Yeah,
nads.
And then the nachos. Of course, they had a bunch of nachos when they were rich at the beginning for a minute, which I don't remember why.
They were using Google Pay on the cell phone.
Oh yeah, they stole the guy's phone when they stole his identity. Yeah, that was awesome. Like
the family fell off the dock.
Yeah,
trying to do the photo for him. They stole the phone.
He had a good time with that. Makes me want nachos though.
Yeah, it made me that night, but I never got any.
Neither. Fucked up.
It is fucked up.
Let's go to the gas station.
I did watch a bunch of other Beavis and Butthead episodes after this movie, so I was trying to like not to blur that in.
But then for some
movie.
reason, Paramount Plus added commercials to the series.
Yes, they did.
Like I watched it, I was watching it, and then a few hours later, I went to watch it again. There was commercials now, and I pay for commercial free. So I googled it, and they said something about technical glitch, but it only seemed to affect Beavis and Butthead and not like Star Trek or something else.
Yeah, see, I was at the end of like some of the episodes, and it would show like 6 ads all of a sudden.
But it's like
and then
4 minutes of ads.
You'd come back to it, and it would just be the credits. And then once I figured that out, I was like, just backing out at the end. I'm like, I'm not watching 4 fucking ads to see the credits of this.
Lame.
Yeah. No, overall, I think it was a worthy return to Beavis and Butthead. I'd say it was worth it.
Yeah.
Did we need it? Not necessarily, but it was fun.
There's no complaints about this one. This one's very much on the par with how Bill and Ted 3 was. Like, you didn't technically need to make this by any means, but I'm glad you did.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
With it. Yeah, I'll watch it again.
I mean, it's when you do that stuff with comedy stuff, as long as you just have to hit a certain bar of it being funny and nostalgic enough.
Well, Well, they did a good job of being able to have current affairs mixed in there from a series from the 90s, right? Without being like, okay, here, it's like...
Well, that's why they started out in 1998. That whole bit is fucking great.
That
It's, like,
works,
perfect.
and then it's like a Black Hulk is like, how... If you're going to go stupid, get stupid with it, right?
Yeah,
and they
it's
do a
fucking
great
Beavis and
job of
Butthead.
it. Yeah. Everything you want out of Beavis and Butthead flick.
You're like, why would they put these teenagers on this spaceship? This is not a thing that would happen, but in Beavis and Butthead, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's great.
Well, that's all we have this week. So,
thanks for sticking around through our rant.
Yeah.
We'll see you back with plenty more fun stuff next week.
Yeah, pretty much. Hit up our Patreon, patreon.com/FrogBrosPodcast, because I just uploaded our commentary for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So far there's 4 commentary tracks available on our Patreon for Ghostbusters, Lost Boys, Twister, and Ninja Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
With lots more stuff coming.
Yep.
So go subscribe to that.
And we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Shut this off. Shut these all off.